Oh my God! It's gonna be Christmas. Like I got stuff coming on. It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so good. Whoa! Hey, if you're gonna do that again, at least buy me dinner first at Luigio's, please. Get off of the swings!
So I stayed.
So plans have changed.
and then we did a big 180.
So you hear that, Jennifer? You got no one to blame but yourself.
Jennifer just logged off.
And when you stop drinking coffee,
Let's go to the next topic,
your
please.
body just doesn't. Yeah. Tyler's like, I don't have a problem. I don't need it.
We have truckers that park out front and just like stay there overnight and just like hang massive like diarrhea loads out their door.
On a regular basis?
Oh yeah, guy.
I would put a sign up.
Listen, we got signs, boys.
Oh boy.
Hit the jingle that hasn't been made yet. The practical
life application.
Tyler expects me to bring the cheese to the event.
I left that cheese in your fridge.
Yeah.
Let it go to waste.
Neither of us are gonna have cheese. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cocaine makes me happy, so I'm gonna go do cocaine. It's like, no, that's not really the way that we're talking.
Listen, there are physical benefits.
Just like smile at each other and be like, Bess, yeah. It's like, what just happened? I thought you didn't like her. Oh yeah, I hate her. It's like, what? It's like,
think of like crazy big ideas, right? And I can always like, it'll be just really awesome ideas for
weed,
business. And
stay away from the weed.
Yeah, right.
It's like you have the dead bodies that are there, and that's already bothering you enough because you're like, holy crap, maybe these are gonna come back as zombies one day. And then that day happens, and they come back as zombies, and you can't do anything about it.
It's like mostly because I get like 2 likes, so it'd be nice if no one could see that.
Yes. No, we're still failing. Both of us are failing, except I'm failing less than you.
64 in the special ed class.
Exactly. It's like
I'm the head of the class.
No, but if all 3 of you guys throw bricks at me at the same time, like it's gonna be
Listen,
much
we've been
harder.
shoveling bricks for years. We can fling those things 30, 40 feet.
I'm sure.
Tony got deep 6. Guess who's the boss?
This guy over here.
Hey, pow!
Oh,
Hey, Joey!
That's literally like somebody robs your house. The cops catch the guy, and they'd be like, no. Like, I know it has your name on it, but he stole it clear, fair, and square.
Parents who are like, I want my kid to be a doctor. I want my kid to be a lawyer. And then you pressure
Oh, you
them
know
into
doctor
this
now.
Yeah, that's extremely racist.
Right?
Yeah.
I have $1,000. I'm gonna buy 1 thing of eggs for the kids, diapers for the other kid, and an iPad for me. And another thing is, so remember that. Wait.
My artisanal croissants are not selling. I wonder why, Jennifer. You're not open before breakfast. Yeah, what's her name? If it doesn't bring you joy, throw it out.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'd throw away my whole house. If you drink alcohol from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you have a problem.
Oh, you're really talented.
Yeah.
Probably after a contest, actually.
You still have to pay the same amount that you...
The value went up. There was a shooting outside. The value of the house went up. We're going to have to ask you for more money this year.
How dare you hit on me? I'm a strong, independent woman. No. I will buy 5 of these sandwiches just so you leave me alone.
Starting like your little Etsy company, and it's like,
It's not little.
Yeah, it's not little. It's growing.
Listen,
over your shoulders while your hands are on the keyboard still, and they're just like...
That's sexual harassment.
I was wearing Louis Vuitton and Gucci 3 months ago, and now I'm at the discount aisle at Walmart.
That's a lot of things went
Yeah,
wrong.
right.
Yeah.
But I love her, and she's the
red
one.
Flags, red flags.
Yeah, and you're just
Red
like,
flags.
and then it's just like,
Red flags.
and then you find out she's interested
Red
in you
flags.
too, and it's just like,
We'll start with 1 plane, a scooter.
and by plane I mean one of those pedal ones that like, it's like a little helicopter,
A scooter, a pedal plane that I had when I was 5.
and I'm just gonna drop the packages from the sky, and hopefully they don't break.
I drew you a couple pictures and I put it in your mailbox.
And then you get arrested.
for like a federal offense.
Business venture over.
Hey, Eric, I like your boobs. Like, no.
Okay.
Sexual harassment
Yeah.
2.0.
Hey, buy my blanket. Oh, look, it's so good. It's like a Snuggie, but it's not a
Yes.
Snuggie, and I made it by myself, and it's so
Yeah.
good. Oh, my dog ate it. I'll have it done by next Tuesday.
My dog ate this audio file.
Yeah.
Dog ate the audio file.
It's a soundbite.
He looked
So this was the Life Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay away from porn, and until next time.
Yeah, that's it.
You coke one time, then pretty soon, like 6 months down the road, it's pretty hard to say no, and you end up in a hotel with a hooker somewhere and lose everything that you have.
That's
Oddly
highly
specific.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Wonderful.
and that's the highlight reel.
Yeah, that's the recap of season 1. I mean, season 2.
Season 2.
Oh, jeez.
Where you been?
I don't know. It's all been one big season for me.
Oh
This is
man,
episode 72.
72.
That's a lot of episodes,
That's a
guy.
lot, guy.
That's a lot of episodes.
Congratulations, boys.
Yeah.
72.
It's getting serious now.
72. It's only been like, I don't know how long it's been.
well think about it. 72 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's about 17. That's about 17.
No,
Week 23, 24 weeks.
24 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 weeks. Yeah, 12 weeks a season.
24 weeks? No, 17.
No. 12 weeks a season.
It's 12, it's 12 weeks. Guy.
I don't know.
36 episodes.
72 divided by...
Oh, that had to
by
be
3.
24, yeah.
24, guy.
My brain.
Congratulations,
Listen,
boys.
I have the files on my computer, guy. I have them labeled.
Good thing I'm not getting paid to think, huh?
Absolutely.
Labeled.
Yeah, I have them labeled. Yeah, week 24, guy. How do you think I separate all the After Effects files?
Yeah, no, I separated by episode. Well, it takes. Anyways.
I have weeks and then I have episodes. So like every week has 3 files in it, and it's the episodes of it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
For all of you who were wondering how the file structure of the show is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's highly organized, and we love it. We love every second of it.
Absolutely.
So in the Life podcast fashion, well, first of all, my name is Benjamin. I'm here with Tyler
What's up?
and Eric,
Yo.
and this is the Life podcast 3 times a week. That doesn't necessarily apply now, but
It's over.
yeah, well, for season 2. But in morning show fashion, in Life podcast fashion, we I know. I'm sorry. That run up still hits me every once in a while. Like I almost say it, but it doesn't happen. We're gonna go through the show notes for season 2 and just run through them straight.
All right. Stop me. Throw some red flags when
Yeah,
we
we'll
get
have
something to
commentary.
talk
we all
about.
make a comment on.
We have
each
commentary
line,
pieces. Yeah, we have commentary pieces.
All right, we're gonna do it. Show notes season 2. First thing on the docket, we broke into Benji's car.
We did. So story behind that really quickly. For some reason, when I got this new car, I had a habit of leaving the key in the car and like not turning off the car at all. But my
Literally
doors,
in the ignition.
in the ignition with the car on. But the doors are manual.
I think it's a psychological.
It probably
like a
is.
deep psychological
It's
thing.
for the valet, you just keep.
Yeah, keep practicing.
Yeah. So I left the key in the car. I explicitly told Eric to lock the door because it's a manual lock door. I was like, Eric, lock the door, and he locked the door, and then I locked it, and then we walked.
It was
over.
funny because I like locked the door and I hear the engine. We're gonna call it purring, even though it's like. But I heard the engine, but I was like, no, that can't be this car. Benji wouldn't leave the key in the ignition.
did.
He just told me to lock the door. Lock, boom,
Yeah.
and then we walk away 2 steps. He stops,
Yeah.
and he looks back and he's like, and I was like, the keys in the ignition, and he's like, yeah, and well, long story short, 5 minutes later, we went to Home Depot. We got the stuff. We got in the car. We broke in. That was a really easy break-in.
Yeah,
Probably
that
the
was
easiest
super
break-in I've
easy,
ever done in
guy.
my life. And got back in the car.
And we returned the products to Home Depot. The lady asked me what was wrong, and I said these weren't what I thought they were. It was a crowbar, one of those little pump airbags to move furniture, and a little grabby like hook thing. Easy guy. It took 2 minutes. There was a lady watching us from across the street, and we just boom banged it out and then turned off the car.
When I say 5 minutes, that was buying the product. That was returning the product included. We went from receipt to receipt.
Receipt to receipt was 5.
It was 5 minutes. So it was like, this is the easiest break-in ever.
Yeah. So
Hot. All right. Next thing. Don't stop. Stop getting in your own way. You heard me?
a lot of people get in their own way with a lot of different things. They're afraid of their own success.
I mean, yeah, that's the reason why most people don't start their business. Doing
That's
their own way.
That's it. Self-sabotage. Next one. Don't price yourself out of the game. Don't leave money on the table.
There's never a point where you ask. You can never negotiate higher. You can always negotiate lower. So
That's
it's all like, if you come into a client and you say I really want $30 an hour, and you say $30 an hour, and the client's like, yep, you know you cooked.
Yeah, you blew it.
Yeah.
You know, if there's no negotiation, you blew it.
Right? You can last concession if you come in and like, hey, it's $60 an hour. Whoa, hey, that's all right, 50. Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
People get so afraid that they're gonna say no if they come in too high, and it's just like, no, it's part of the negotiation. I mean, obviously, don't come in like
$1,000 an hour.
well, you slow down, But like, if you come in like at a reasonable rate at what people are competing at, and then just go a little bit over that, and then now you have room to play.
There we go. Okay, I saw the Xfinity commercial. I don't even remember what that was all
our
about.
boy was in the Xfinity
Oh,
commercial.
Tierra, yes. Congratulations, Tierra Diaz. He's doing something with the Boston Celtics now.
It's a tough life.
Pretty sweet.
No,
Yeah,
we
good
know a guy who was we were at a table read for one of our friends' things, and
Yeah.
he was there, and then I saw like in the wild, like not even like looking it up, but like it was served to me on a Twitch stream, I think,
Yeah.
and I
He's-
saw it, and I was
yeah,
like, oh snap.
He's one of my clients for in the studio, so really good.
Okay. No regrets. If you died tomorrow, would you have any immediate regrets? Hashtag maxed out life.
It's that's one of those things where it's like a lot of people think, oh, I don't have any regrets, like for this small thing. Like today, I don't have any regrets, but then they don't do what they want to do in the long term.
Yeah.
People look at regrets in the short term as opposed to the long term.
And you end up in the second floor with a Porsche.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cooked it. But no regrets.
And
no
over
regrets.
There was no
Hopefully
regrets.
not.
That was actually I put this one in the notes. That was a big thing for me. Like I was just really taking inventory on my life. Like if I cooked it tomorrow, like was I doing everything I immediately could within my immediate reach so that I had no excuses of
I think that's
why I
awesome.
didn't do it.
I think it's awesome to take that kind of inventory regularly in your life. Like every few months, you should be checking in on yourself, and just don't not check in with basis with yourself for long periods of time, because then you don't know if you're like, are you maxing out? Are you doing everything you could possibly do today?
Yeah. Ask the tough questions. I mean, it's easiest to take the hard truth pills yourself
Yeah.
if you can ask yourself those questions. Next, live in the moment, not for the moment. We talked about that the other day too, huh?
Yeah, we did. We did talk about that yesterday. The idea of some people get so stuck in searching for what's next that they never live in the moment that they're living right now. I was having this conversation with somebody else the other day, and I was like, well, life is not worth living unless you're happy in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there's like we talked about we're probably going to come back to it later, but the difference between being happy and being comfortable. And it's like, are you happy right now, or are you living for right now, or are you living for what you will achieve later? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with having goals, but like living for a moment in the future is not healthy.
And we always say, like, just show up. Like, that's one of the things we always talk about, and that's a part of it. Just be present. It's like when you're at a whatever opportunity you're at, just be there. Don't have your mind in different places of your life. Just be present with where you are, and a lot better things will happen for
It's
you.
really good. And we were talking about that too. Like I think it was in season 1 we were talking about how when people have like this crazy unfathomable dream and that's the only thing that sustains them the rest of their life. Like somebody who lives in the hood that lives on welfare, and it's like, oh well, I'm living so I can get that Ferrari one day or that Bugatti one day, and then all of a sudden they hit the lottery because some freak chance and they buy the Ferrari, and it's like my entire life's cooked because that was the unattainable dream that sustained me to keep going in life.
Yeah, and now I got it, and I didn't work for it.
Now my life is still empty, and now like what is there to live for?
Absolutely. If you look at the day-to-day, it also makes your life a lot more palatable. In the way, like, people get sad at their life and they get so bent out of shape because they look at the big picture and they're like, oh, I want to be Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to have everything that he has, and it's
That's
all
rough.
like it's
Some rich chick let him freeze,
yeah,
and then let him go, lie to him, and then let him go.
yeah. Basically, that's somebody's life
But I
goal
love
right there.
him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Yes, absolutely. but people are like, oh, I want to be Leonardo DiCaprio, and they live for that dream as opposed to saying, okay, where am I right now, and what do I need to do to achieve that goal eventually, and how am I progressing towards that goal?
Yeah,
Make a move.
let's move it.
Dog rescue. Oh nope. Actually, this is a segment from one of the lost episodes. This is gonna go in.
No.
Bugatti broke 300 miles an hour and said they would never compete again.
Oh yeah, that was fun. CEO of Bugatti was all like,
Yeah.
they broke 300 miles an hour, 303 point whatever.
304,773.
There you go, close. And then the CEO of Bugatti was basically called out Koenigsegg and was all like, unlike some companies, we have regulations and we can't just shut down a road in Nevada and go back and forth for a couple hours. Like Volkswagen would never let us do that. So because of that, we're out. And it was like,
Fair
Fun game.
All right, let's keep moving.
GG.
Dog rescue and dog rescue number 2.
Oh yeah, remember that thing, guys?
That was all of us.
what, Labor Day or Memorial Day?
One of the two.
I don't know the difference.
I don't know either, but
Well, I know the difference in what they mean, but
I don't know which one comes first or nothing. I think it was Labor Day. I think it was like the last day of like we were like, oh yeah, summer's
Labor
almost
Day.
over, and yeah, and we went out and we had a good time, and then we were leaving because we were all tired, and it was starting to like drizzle, and we saw this dog just moseying down the street. at his own pace, and we saw the dog, and I was gonna keep on going, but other people wanted to oh, let's help the dog, let's find out where he lives, and I was like, okay. So we interrupted this dog's entire day. We picked him up, we put him in the back of Tyler's pickup, and we drove him to the farm where he came from.
Legitimately, not no joke.
No, yeah, that's literally. And then they saw us. Oh yeah. He goes for walks around the neighborhood all the time. Of course he does. He was walking home, he was heading in the direction. That dog knew exactly what he was doing. We interrupted. He did. That's the nicest dog in the world.
Yeah,
he's the
didn't do
nicest
anything.
dog. And then we're like, okay, cool, let's go home now. And we go around the corner, and there's another dog.
And we didn't learn the first time.
Nope. Except this dog was way more of a jerk. He didn't help us. He didn't want to get help, and he was growling and stuff and running away. So we left him.
Yeah. All right. You're not a procrastinator. Just have a habit of procrastinating.
Yeah.
Derek, we'll defer to you.
Okay. Well, Derek, hey, are you in the back? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So you're not a procrastinator. You just have a habit of it. A lot of people get stuck in that mindset of oh, it's a part of who I am. It's I've always been a procrastinator. I'm always going to be one. It's really a mindset. It's something that you have to consciously want to change. And there are, I don't remember the name of the video that we watched, but it was a really good video. It was what, 3-4 minutes. It really broke down the concept that we talked about. But yeah, I do recommend going back and listening to that episode because we talked about a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the concept of procrastination becomes a habit where it's all procrastination is the concept of oh, I don't want to do this thing until the very last second. And then it's all if everything works out fine when I wait until the last second, then your brain is all oh, bet. If I don't have to do anything preemptively, then I can just do it at the last second and everything will be okay.
Yep.
And then it happens again and again and again. And the only thing that happens is your brain gets reinforced with this concept that you don't have to do anything until the very last moment that you do it.
Yeah.
So on the grander scale, instead of you're not a procrastinator, you have a habit of procrastinating. You are not your habits.
Yeah.
And that's really
Bars.
good.
That's a good point.
Waking up early. If you procrastinate waking up, how can you expect to procrastinate, not to procrastinate in everything else?
Yeah, we talked about that where it's all if your brain creates a concept that says, okay, if I don't have to do anything till the very last minute and everything's going to be okay, it's obviously going to try to implement those things in its other aspects, because the brain, all it wants to do is save resources. So it's if I can sleep until 5 minutes before I have to leave and I can still get to work, then why don't we just do that every single day?
Yeah.
And it's that's not a healthy
It's really hard to get out of that.
And if
I've
you're
been
not
stuck there.
And if you're not excited to get out of bed, if you're not excited for your day, and then you're not going to be excited in your day. It's going to be a very plateaued day all day long, or maybe even it might even go down because you're not excited. So it's you have to figure out how to be excited in the morning. So the only way to do that is to have a day that you actually enjoy experiencing. So work on that.
Start building that.
Yeah.
Next is a quote from our boy Chris. When you articulate your boundaries to people, they have the opportunity to respect your needs and virtues and protect your relationship with them. And when they value and protect the things that are important to you, the relationship flourishes. This is the process that builds trust between you and others.
Yep.
That's an Eric topic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that goes all the way back to season 1, where you can't expect people to cross the lines that you never drew. You have to draw the lines with people so that you understand that they respect you. If I draw a line and you guys cross it continuously, you guys obviously don't respect my line, and that's something that we should address. But if I never drew that line and you keep on annoying me with the same thing, I can't come at you and say that you annoy me. I mean, I can, but it's hard for me to stand on anything with that.
There's an invisible line.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that it's drawn.
Exactly. So that's very important, and that works in romantic relationships, friendships, business partners, your boss's boss. It doesn't matter. You need to set lines so that people can respect you. You have to give the people the opportunity to respect you.
Okay, you want to do one more? Busyness versus productivity. Know the difference.
Yeah, we can get stuck in this concept of I'm running back and forth, I'm doing all these amazing things. There's a difference between being busy, where it's busy work. You remember when you were in grade school and your teacher used to give you a worksheet, and it was because the sub was there and nobody cared. That's busy work. There's no substance to it. Where it's okay, I'm running back and forth from here to here to here to here, and I'm doing nothing, but I don't actually actively progress in my lifestyle or in my goals. And that's the difference between busyness and productivity.
I think that I still remember the example we used, and it's like Jennifer fills up her time with yoga and Pilates and scrapbooking and book club and whatever. It's like, I'm so busy all the time.
I mean, if you like scrapbooking, go scrapbook.
Yeah, it's one thing, but don't tell me you're busy, you're being productive when you're just doing all this busy work.
Exactly.
Oh, and they're the Ducks, so we'll be right back.
We would like to thank Anchor for sponsoring and hosting the Life podcast. So who are Anchor and what do they do? Anchor is the all-in-one platform that gives you everything you need to make and publish your podcast. And best of all, it's all free. Anchor allows you to use their creative tools to record and edit your podcast. No need for any fancy professional equipment. Sounds amazing, right? And we haven't even gotten to the best part. Anchor isn't just a recording and editing platform. They're a publisher too. This means that Anchor takes care of all of the hard stuff, like publishing to Apple and Google Podcasts, so you don't have to. So what are you waiting for? Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Another thanks to Anchor for hosting, publishing, and sponsoring the Life podcast.
Hit it. All right, and we're back. Anybody got anything before we keep rolling?
It's okay to be scrapbooking. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Do whatever you want to do. Don't be mad. Don't be sad about not being productive. There's no problem with not being productive as long as you accept that you're not being productive.
They don't complain. I'm so busy.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's fine.
You have to sacrifice things, and sometimes we don't realize we all have more time in our day if we really want to make it.
Exactly.
If you're willing to sacrifice the other things, you watch Netflix 3 hours a day.
Yeah, right. I won't be able to get my Netflix in. Well, that's a high priority then.
Well,
but don't complain to me. You're not getting anything done.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, well, then that's more important than what you wanted to do, and that's what you're gonna do.
If you have to brush each strand of your hair 100 times each day, don't don't complain.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right. Well, that goes that time. We're all allotted the same time a day. It's what do you do with it? And that's really what it comes down to.
That's it. All right. Next point. You have clutter in your life that's stopping you from moving forward. We talked about that being emotional baggage.
Yeah, absolutely.
An emotional clutter.
We talked about the example.
I can feel the people cringing. I don't want to talk about this again.
Yeah. You can feel the emotional baggage just creeping up.
Yeah, oh no.
Is that my bag? It's like sitting at the airport carousel. Is that my bag? Is that my bag? Is that my bag? Is it coming yet? Oh, that looks like no, that's not mine.
That's not mine.
It doesn't have the red little tab on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has the exact same bag at the airport.
Except that one person's been traveling for a long time.
And they got the big rainbow strap and all kinds of bells.
Yeah, they hear this coming.
Absolutely. No, but we use the example of the barnacles on the bottom of a boat that eventually you have to scrape those off. They just accrue over time, and even if you do the very best that you can to try to make sure that you don't accrue them, every once in a while you got to take the boat out of the water and you got to cut off the dead stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's people. That's people. That's emotions. That's stuff like that.
That's things that you didn't deal with.
We're talking about we're talking about forgiveness. That's probably a big part of the clutter that stops people.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you don't go through it, if you don't clean up, what happens with a boat if you don't clean up the barnacles?
It slows down, gets less efficient.
No, we had the run up line. We were talking about when the zombies come back and then you bury all these zombies and they come back as zombies.
Yeah. You just bury them in the concrete and then they dig back out. You still got to deal with them eventually.
It's like my girl Selena.
I was like, what?
Wrote a breakup song 6 years after she broke up with the guy.
Oh yeah, rip.
Yeah.
Eventually, you gotta go up.
Eventually, no matter when.
With it.
Yeah.
Eric has a really big problem with that song.
Yeah, I do.
All right, still moving just so we can get through all the points. There's a difference between curtains and doors. Doors get open, curtains get pulled back. Honestly, I was the one who put that one there. I don't have any commentary at this moment.
But if that resonates with you.
Yeah, I assume it has something to do with the concept of you have to actively pull back things.
Yeah,
they search for stuff.
There was stuff, but we don't have time for that because that's a full show topic.
Fair enough.
All right, another quote from our boy Chris. We must all master the art of being deeply compassionate without letting the desires of others dictate our destinies and dominate our daily priorities. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, put yourself first, guys.
I'm going to stick to my vision, guys.
Which is?
No, I don't. That was a reference.
I don't get it. Anyways, we're gonna read it again. We must all master the art of being deeply compassionate without letting the desires of others dictate our destinies and dominate our daily priorities. Basically, meaning having compassion for people doesn't mean that everything that they want you to do is something that you need to do.
Yep.
To let their desires cater and dictate and bend you in every single direction doesn't mean that you're not compassionate and that you don't care for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really big.
Absolutely. You can love somebody and not do everything that they ask you to do.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That was pretty much our show yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
All right, next point. If you don't like the way you are, if you don't like the way you are or where you're at, get around people who are where you want to go and act the way you want to act.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5. We're gonna bring it up again. Get the 5 closest people in your life. Get those people in check and in order, and get the people that you actually trust. We were talking about off microphone yesterday. Me and Benji had a conversation where like we were listening to some song. It was just like it was a very specific song talking about like
Was it Shaggy?
No. Oh yeah, I did show him
We
Shaggy.
did listen to that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a sec. Yes. I wanna.
I liked it.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Ew. He said ew. So, yeah, we were talking about like this very specific like of when you get to the top of where you want to go. If you don't have your 5 closest people with you, it is very easy to get blown with the wind if you have no foundation. And these 5 people are part of your foundation, people who keep you in check, people that you know and that you trust, whether they be mentors or whether they be like a close person in your life that you've grown up with. But you do need these people in your life, at least one of them, at least someone who knows you. But it's so important so that you could stay grounded in where you're going, so that you don't get swayed by the wind.
Well, think about structural integrity. Actually, you probably need 2 people to make a triangle. The triangle is the strongest shape, like
I agree.
naturally known.
Aim
to
for
man.
2. Yes, I agree. I'd take it back. Aim for 2. Definitely 2.
Minimum. This is also important to realize where like this specific topic was the concept of like, okay, if you have a drinking problem, stop hanging around with people who drink.
Yes.
If you want to be a successful person, attach yourself to successful people. And by attach, I don't mean mooch off of. I mean like observe, like watch people who are successful, people who you want to be. Watch what they do, how they do things,
Yeah.
Right.
where they spend their time.
You're having a hard time being happy, get around some people who know how to be happy,
Exactly.
so that you can learn how to be happy like them.
Yeah. Optimism is something you can learn how to do.
Okay, let's keep going. How do you expect to change the environment around you if you can't change the environment inside of you?
Yep. That's a heavy one where it's all like I need to mold the outside environment to fit the inside issues, but then the inside issues change, and then your outside environment also has to change.
Everything stems from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yep.
You attract everything in your life based off how you feel on the inside.
Yep.
So, like, if you can't change what's going on with you, and you won't, like, the one thing you're in full control of, whether you say it or not, it does not matter. You're in full control of that. If you can't get that where you want it to be, everything around you is going to reflect where you are, and it's going to continue to reflect until you can change.
There's a proverb we read all the time. It says, beware and keep guard over your heart, because out of it flow all of the issues of life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
amazing. Yeah.
So that's really good.
Mm.
Oh, we talked about it too. This is kind of this is another lost episode. If you have your marriage or whatever, and then you're like, oh, if I have this big elaborate wedding, it's gonna fix all of my internal marriage problems. Oh, if I just have kids, it's gonna fix all of my marriage problems.
Exactly,
and it's like,
yeah.
no, you never dealt with the root. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you make the outside look like it's supposed to be healthy,
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
talk about that all the time with the difference between fixing the symptoms and fixing the problem.
Yep.
And it's very easy to get stuck in, oh, I have a cough, let me fix the cough, whereas all like the cough is a symptom of the issue itself. You have to fix the issue itself.
or think about a car. You could have a car that looks beautiful on the outside, but it could be completely rotted out on the inside. Or you could have a blown engine. Like, oh, that car's beautiful. Yeah, blown tranny, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't run.
Yeah, but changing the oil on it isn't gonna help. You know what I mean? It's like you
gotta fix it.
You have to fix the problem. It's not just the symptoms. Like, oh, the car don't turn over, and it's just like,
Let me change the oil.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe it just needs some gas.
It needs an air freshener.
Absolutely.
That's really good. Next, luxury is only a
Just
matter of
sitting in it.
perception.
Sorry, just sitting in the car with the air freshener. At least it smells nice in here.
Yeah.
Can't
That's
move.
what a lot of people do.
But that's what it is.
Yeah, it's really what it is. Continue. I'm sorry.
Luxury is only a matter of perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you can get off that jet and not have to like take a selfie while you're on the jet.
Yeah.
You didn't live it.
Well, it's also the concept of like luxury is perceptive when it comes to your current bar, where it's all like if I wear a Seiko and then I work so hard and I buy a Rolex, that's a massive step up for me. But 3 years down the road, wearing the Rolex every single day, that's par for the course now.
Yeah, right. And the dude,
It's like the dude you were talking about this morning. He was like, "What is $20 million?"
Yeah,
like
what is $20 million?
Yeah, $20 million is a lot of money for somebody who has no dollars.
Yeah.
But $20 million is nothing for somebody who has $100 million.
Right.
It's like, it's only
well, it's a
whatever,
fifth of theirs.
fifth of their, yeah. I mean, at the end of
But
the
still,
day,
yeah. It's not everything, you
No.
know, and that I think it's a concept of like it depends on where you are, and that's your perspective of the luxuries you have.
All right, roulette versus marriage.
it's almost better odds to put all of your money on black and let it ride.
Isn't
than
it? It's like 48 or 49%
it's like
to roll on black.
Yeah, 47 point
And
something.
then
in
like
America,
52% chance of a successful marriage.
Yeah.
No,
50-50.
unsuccessful.
Oh, and unsuccessful
Yeah,
marriage.
it's close. It's close to the exact same odds.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
If you cover black and 00, you got a better chance than you do in marriage.
Unfortunately, so make sure that you cultivate that relationship so you have success.
Absolutely. Don't change the air freshener. Okay.
Yeah. Next point. It's only weird because you're not used to it. Inversely, it's only normal because you do it all the time. The sweet bread in the egg, sweet bread with the egg story.
Yeah, my boy. Yeah, he was all like, I was eating this bread and there was an egg in it, and we were all like, yeah, bro, and then I realized, if I went to Stop and Shop and I bought a loaf of bread and there was an orange in it, I'd be kind of confused too. But we don't think it's weird because we actively live it.
Yeah.
And then again, like that second thing says, it's like we only think it's normal. I remember saying this when I was a little kid, which is kind of like philosophical at this point, but whatever. I was like, we only call it hamburger because everybody calls it hamburger. But if we were to call it burger ham, it would be okay too. Like that wouldn't change it. And it's like, yeah, congratulations.
It's like a cheesesteak. If you're down in Philly, it's a cheesesteak. Out here, it's a steak and cheese.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like depends on where you come from. And then but if you say it in the wrong place, everyone looks at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, like a bubbler.
All right, hey, listen, we gotta roll because we still got a ton of notes.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we've been talking.
Well, side
talking a
note,
ton.
don't get lost in the metaphor. The concept is like the world around you is only normal because it's normal, and like realize that you have to make personal decisions based off of the things around you.
Okay, next, Subway birthday. Well, where is your life if you hold your birthday at Subway?
Bet.
Boom,
Say
next.
I won't.
Let's talk about it. Next, your problems are not my problems. My problems are not your problems.
Yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Do not assume that the world around you is going to bend its will to your issues. Like I don't need to help you. And you don't need to help me. And that's like the most important thing is realizing like, hey, listen, like if you see somebody like who's going through a problem, like a friend, you're going through an issue. Everybody else around you doesn't have to help you with your issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a decision to do it. It's not a requirement.
Yeah,
that's it. Leadership doesn't happen by accident. You can be thrust into a position that you aren't prepared for, but only longevity comes through preparation and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one we talked about where there was like that producer who made a beat, and then we're like, oh yeah, I made this beat in like an hour, and it hit like top notch stuff. And then he was like, oh, so it only took you an hour. He's like, well, it took me years and years and years and years and years of practice that got me good enough that I could do this in an hour.
Yeah,
it had nothing to do like that hour. It had all the preparation that came into it. That is what made this song. It wasn't the actual act of spending the hour, and that's huge because I mean that's how leaders are born. It's like all the preparation that comes into it. Not just
or you think of like medicine where it's all like the first time you cut into a person you're not prepared for it. Well, you've done it hundreds of times on cadavers, but like the first time you cut open a human body, like
it's game time.
That's legit. Like you're not prepared for that, and they understand that as you become a doctor. It's like it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next, better to be rich and miserable than poor and miserable. If you can't have it all, take what you can get.
That's our boy Chris Valentin. He's all like, I wrote a book because you better rather be rich and miserable than poor and miserable. and it's like it's a metaphor for like take what you can get. Like a lot of people see something and they're like, oh, I can't have the exact thing that I want, so I don't want anything. And then they're miserable because they don't have anything. And it's all like, get what you can get.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, right. All right, next point. What's the difference between judging and expectations? Judgment is physically judging the act, where expectation is a predisposed or predetermined measure that somebody has to hit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Next thing is a quote from a man, Derek Prince. Your character is
Derek. He's over there again. Oh, go ahead.
Your character is the sum total of your habits. Your habits are formed by repeated decisions. You never make an unimportant decision because every decision is either positive or negative. It's either building up or breaking down your character.
Yeah, people think like, oh, I'll just do this one little thing one time and it'll be fine. I can do this one time and I'll never do it again.
I just need to do coke one time, guys.
Exactly. And it's like, that's not how this works. It's a repeated decision. Your brain is very, very moldable, very malleable.
A lot of times too, when you break that first echelon too, of like, oh, I'll only do coke one time. Then pretty soon, like 6 months down the road, it's pretty hard to say no, and you end up in a hotel with a hooker somewhere and lose everything that you have.
Oddly specific. Yeah. Or the concept of like the deadline concept, where it's all like, oh, okay, I broke this deadline and everything's perfectly fine. So why would I not break deadlines in the future? Obviously, deadlines don't matter. Same concept.
Yeah.
All right, one more before we have to go. Water is pH healthy.
Oh God, that
Filthy.
marketing, that marketing.
Oh, it's a
campaign.
stupid marketing
Yeah,
campaign.
we can do
Continue.
one more.
That's really stupid. The Life Podcast. Wake up every day till you don't.
Absolutely, you can't.
Put it on a
tomorrow
shirt.
is not guaranteed, so don't guarantee things for tomorrow.
If we put that on a shirt, put in the comments if you would buy it or not.
Yeah,
us a
absolutely. That
motivation.
was an awesome shirt idea.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
In a world where three people's lives come together to change the lives of whoever is willing to listen, and now coming to YouTube.
Wait, we have YouTube? I'm not subscribed.
What do you mean you're not subscribed?
Well, I didn't know.
You're a part of the show.
I didn't know I was supposed to subscribe.
Next, you're gonna tell me that you're not following us on social media,
We have a social media?
dude.
Subscribe.
Okay.
All right, now it's time for the lightning round. Lightning.
Oh, I'm not making a thing for that.
You just All right, there we go. We did it. One and done. All right. Next, it's a picture. It says a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down becomes steps for a plan, and a plan backed by action becomes reality.
My dad, when he was closing the stores, he one day I walked into the store one time and there was a little rip-off calendar that said 365 days left, and I was like, wow, that's a bit aggressive. And every single day he ripped off a piece of paper, and then it got to day like 100, and then he just shut the store down.
That's legit.
he's like, I'm done, guys. But having a goal and having a date, and a date is a deadline. It's like, and having a deadline pushes you to do something.
Yep, and it causes you to make decisions.
And
then-
respect your own deadlines. Don't just push away your deadlines, because once you do that, you're telling
Then you're
yourself that
cooked.
you don't matter.
Our boy from the bicycle shop, who was all like, in 2 weeks I'm leaving. I was here for a year longer than I wanted to, and then 3 months later we go back for a client meeting and he's still there. And it's like, no, dude, please, like,
You're supposed
follow
to shut
your
it
dream.
down. Yeah.
Go.
Cook it.
be
Anyways,
listening.
people treat you how they feel about themselves. A lot of times people will take out their aggression or their inner problems on you. They will make you feel inferior because they feel inferior.
Yeah,
Things of that nature.
If they're insecure about themselves, they're going to point out your insecurities.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's it. Next, benefits of forgiveness. Forgiveness is good. It takes off dead bodies and weights off your shoulders. It allows you to have clean and pure interactions with other people. You don't carry around emotional baggage. You scrape the barnacles off the bottom of the boat, and that means you can streamline to where you need to go.
But always remember, there's a difference between forgiveness and trust.
Yeah, that's it. Just because you forgive
yes.
somebody doesn't mean that you enable them to come in and destroy your life again.
Exactly. It's a very important skill there. I think it's probably one of the most important things we can do.
Don't enable people. Being comfortable versus being happy. You can be comfortable happy, comfortable unhappy, uncomfortable happy, uncomfortable unhappy.
Yep.
That's you, Benji.
Waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning is not comfortable, but if whatever you're doing once you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning makes you happy, then
Right.
that's the most important
But
part.
you're going to Cancun.
That's all that matters, guy.
That's all that matters.
You know, and it's important to realize you can be uncomfortable and happy, and you can be uncomfortable and unhappy, and your level of comfort does not affect your level of happiness.
Absolutely. That's really good. All right. We had an episode 7 Rules of Life. Make peace with your past so that it doesn't disturb your future. What other people think is none of your business. The only person in charge of your happiness is you. Don't compare your life to others. Oh, what is this? Don't compare your life to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Time heals almost everything. Give it time. Stop thinking so much. It's all right to not know all the answers and smile. You don't have all the problems in the world.
Yeah, just put it all on black and let it ride, boys.
That's it.
Not recommended, but go ahead.
It's better. It's
And then you end up in a motel with cocaine and hookers.
Hey, listen.
Next, circumstances reveal character. Choices make character. You can see when somebody gets put in a tough spot, you'll see what they're really made of.
Yep.
And the continual choices, like we read earlier, are the sum total of your character. The choice that you make day to day, like every day, is what becomes your character. Not because, I decided not to do that one time. Like, I didn't lie this one time. Doesn't make your character. It's the repeated decision of not lying all the time.
Yep. Red eye flights at 3 a.m. with no makeup show you a lot about a person.
Absolutely.
Wake up for a radio show.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, if you're gonna go do a business venture with people or anything else, you have to get to know them and actually be in stressful environments and actually see what it's like when they're not at their optimal conditions.
All right, we got to keep moving the lightning around. Blaming your circumstance. That was really good. I'm not trying to cut you off. We really have a lot to do. Blaming your circumstances for your character is blaming a mirror for your looks.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't ready for that. We reflect everything.
That's it. Just because you're from the hood doesn't mean that you have to be a piece of trash.
That's it.
Your character is not determined by how much it takes to offend you. What? Oh, your true character is determined by how much it takes to offend you.
Okay,
that's how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. You put somebody in a tough spot, they either shine or they get offended, and it looks really ugly.
Yeah, if Jeff saw like, I don't like your pants, and you're like, Jeff, I always hated you, and it's not like, okay, calm down.
Right, I hate you, and I want to be with your wife. Like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah. It's like I just said I didn't like your pants.
Rip.
Next, much of your victory in tomorrow's battles is directly proportional to how you manage your soul today.
Yeah, you can't pass the test if you don't study. Well, you can pass the test if you don't study. It's a lot harder to pass the test if you don't study for it. And that has to happen today. You can't study for the test after you've already taken it and expect it to affect the test grades that you got.
Keep preparing. That's it. You have to be ready for the opportunity when it comes.
Yep.
Our limit is the only one that we set for ourselves.
Yeah, that's huge. We put ourselves in boxes all the time with these ideas.
Yeah, the idea that I can only do this job. I'm only smart enough to do this job. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough to do any other job than this. It's like, congratulations, you've just boxed yourself in for the rest of your life.
I'm not a morning person, so you limit yourself to never waking up early. I'm a procrastinator, so you limit yourself to always being a procrastinator. It's all a mindset.
Or the idea of I'm a spender, I'm not a saver. It's like, congratulations, now forever you've just enabled yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. Next, everybody's the hero of their own story. We assume that we're infallible. We assume that we are always in the right. We assume that we are the foundational piece to everything we interact with.
Yeah, this
I'm
will
the hero
never.
of my own story, yeah.
Yep, I'm the hero of my own story. This situation, when I leave, this whole factory's coming down because I'm the one who keeps this place running. It's like, no, Jennifer, I'm sure that
you
this
just
place
have the
is
keys. That's all.
Yeah, it's like the only reason why anybody else cares about your name is because you're the one who opens the door. It's like, that's it.
And you're late to that too, so we wait outside in the cold before you get here.
Yeah.
All right, next. It's hard to roll up your sleeves when your hands are in the dough.
Yep.
Sometimes it's hard to be able to see when you're in the middle of your own chaos.
Sometimes you got to ask somebody else to roll up the sleeves for you.
That's it.
You can't smell the soup when your face is in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta
That's exactly
you
what
gotta
it
ask for some help sometimes.
Some weird Portuguese proverb.
No, but that's so it's so true.
Yeah, that's very true. They're always good.
It's the same thing. All right, why not is not a good marketing tactic.
Oh God, that
was so funny.
That was a hilarious.
That lasted 3 days.
Why not? And then the next time I passed by, they had broken off the why not part and just left the guy's name. And then the next day it was gone. So like somebody
Campaign
printed
over.
That. Yeah, campaign. That was it. Why not this person? What
Hey,
is your why not?
Hey, no regrets.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, where there's no consequence for bad work and no reward for good work, there is no motivation.
If I work so hard and I get paid the exact same amount as the guy who does absolutely nothing, why am I going to work hard?
That's it.
Yeah, go boom.
Cook it. The story of the sun and the stone. Don't let ignorance of others dishearten you from working on things. True complexity of a project is only known to the person who's working on it. True value is what you have achieved is only apparent and relevant to you and those who know what you have done.
That's a long topic.
I know that's really, really big. All right, let's just keep moving. We'll probably bring that into season
Know your
3.
worth.
Yeah.
Next, excellence is the result of caring more than others think is wise, risking more than others think is safe, dreaming more than others think is practical, and expecting more than others think is possible. Ronnie Oldham.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's you got to push against the limit.
Yeah.
It's there. You're not gonna. Okay, Ryan Serhan has this wall. He had this art piece commissioned, which was checks from all of his real estate sales in 1 year, and it was like $1 million checks. Like it was like this board, and on it had written, "If you want a normal life, get a normal job." And the concept is like, if you want to have a normal existence, you just do what everybody else is doing. For you to have an exceptional existence, you have to do something exceptional. You have to jump.
Cool.
Yeah.
Move.
Move.
Unfulfillment is the root of many bad practices: apathy, disinterest, self-harm, judgment, criticism, gossip. If somebody feels unfulfilled, they will get they'll fall into a pattern of apathy. They'll get really disinterested in everything and everyone around them. They'll start harming themselves by making terrible decisions, and they'll get really judgmental and critical and start gossiping about everybody around them. So if those symptoms sound like you, check how unfulfilled you are in your own life first.
Yeah, everything starts from the inside.
Yeah, that's really good. You're not rich until you can fly your own private on a private jet without having to take a picture of it.
That was a Tyler thing. I think that is
we
a
already
good,
kind of talked about that.
that's a good metaphor, though. The concept of like you're not rich until you don't have to flash it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that's par for course, like wearing the Rolex every day, and then it's like okay, and
exactly.
somebody with an AP walks by, and it's like,
Yeah, that's what took the charge.
I'll start taking Mark Zuckerberg seriously when he starts wearing real pants. The morning news host in 2014.
Yeah, that guy bothered me so much. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
start
yeah.
taking Mark Zuckerberg seriously when he wears a suit and wears real pants. It's like, just because Mark Zuckerberg wears a t-shirt and jeans, I have a problem with Mark Zuckerberg as a person.
Listen, he
That
knew
does
his
not
he
affect
knows his worth.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about all the
Yeah.
big boys walking around like,
Exactly.
what is $20 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk in with like a slob t-shirt and jeans, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg's like, the outward appearance has absolutely nothing to do with how much money I have in my bank account. So like, it's just sad.
I'll
Like,
start taking him serious.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
that's stupid.
Mark Zuckerberg doesn't even know your name, guy. He doesn't even know you exist.
just because I come to like an FCC trial before the entire Congress and Court of the United States in joggers does
Yeah.
not mean that I'm not a heavy hitter. Boy.
Yeah.
All right. Don't call it a comeback. Getting back on the horse. That's fine. Keep
you gotta
going.
get back on. You gotta
Yeah,
keep going.
we
There's
all
no,
fall.
yeah.
Everyone falls. It's okay. Get back up. That's what matters is getting back on the horse. If you don't get back on the horse, that's when you fail.
Keep pushing.
Who said this? We disassociate ourselves from our own lives. That's a Benji.
Oh yeah, we disassociate ourselves from. Yeah, we act like we're like this character where it's all like, or when we play video games, we like disassociate ourselves from our own lives. We get out of our own shoes and we live a fantasy. And it's all like, are you that like sad? I'm not saying video games are a bad thing, but like the concept of disassociating ourselves with our own lives.
Yeah, I just need to like that disconnection, just so that you can enjoy your life is really where it is. Like you have to enjoy your life. It's okay to do those things if it's a passive thing, but like you can't do it in order to make you happy.
Okay, next, the difference between you're wrong and I disagree with your point of view.
You're just wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the hero of my own story, so I am right.
Absolutely.
I'm always right.
You're wrong.
Yeah. So just because somebody has a difference of opinion or point of view, just like looking at the back of a poster, say one side's black, one side's white. If I'm looking at it from this side, I say it's white because it looks white to me.
Yeah.
But you say no, that poster's black. What are you, an idiot? And it's like, no, your side's black, my side's white.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're both right.
Perspective.
So I disagree, but neither of you are wrong. Walmart Squirrel. If you want to hear more about Walmart Squirrel, go over to the studio page and check out vlog episode
That out yet?
4, 3,
7.
7.
I think it's one
10?
just
13?
7. Sieto.
Oh,
13.
Don't go to 13. We have no idea what that one's
no,
about.
I don't know. If
I don't know.
that's
I
gonna
just
be
said a
out
bunch
yet.
of random.
Well, I don't know about
random
yet,
numbers.
but
Fair enough.
It's gonna be 7.
Vlog
Eventually.
episode 7, Walmart Squirrel. Okay, next. It's too big of a world to be in competition with everybody else. The only guy I have to be better with is who I am right now.
Absolutely. It's important to realize that you are fighting against who you were. You are pushing against who you were. And you can't see, I can't look at Ryan Serhant and say he sells more houses than I do because, one, I don't sell houses. And two, he's been in this game a lot longer than a lot of people have. And it's all like, if I compare myself to him, I'm going to wake up every morning and say, Serhan's already made $3 million today. How much money did I make? And it's all like,
Cooked.
you got to keep pushing against
You just
yourself.
gotta be better than yourself. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. Reiteration. If you want to be blank, get around blank. If you want to be something, get around people who are like that. Get around whatever that thing is so that you can be like it.
Talked about that.
Yep.
There's this thing actually I'm adding to this. What you look upon is what you become. It's like whatever you look at, whatever you see, whatever you continually feed of yourself, eventually that's what you'll become.
The people that the way that they speak, if you like look up to people who are like play basketball or whatever, you're going to start speaking, you're going to start walking, you're going to start talking, you're going to start acting like people who play basketball. Like if you look at like these businessmen that we deal with, we're going to start walking, you're going to start talking, you're going to start like interacting like they do.
We're very malleable.
Mm-hmm.
And then something as mentors, the next the next comment
People
is
who play basketball professionally. That's what I meant to say.
That's
Not
that's
just
it.
like people at basketball.
or whatever it is. As mentors, we can take this to heart. Solomon was treated as a king from birth to one day rule. Treat people as their calling deserves to usher them into it.
Yep, you can be respected for who you were, who you are, who you will become. People are respected because they were the president of the United States. There are people who are respected because they are the president of the United States, and then there are people who have been elected president but aren't president yet and are respected because they are going to be
Right.
president.
It's like we said, Solomon. Solomon was the son of a king. His name was King David. King David treated Solomon like a king because one day he knew he was going to be a king. So he treated him like a king since he was a kid, so that he knew what it was like to be a king. That's what Benji just said. You can be respected for who you were, who you are, and who you will become. There's a difference between being deceived and being given an out to do what you want to do while being able to use another person as an excuse.
A lot of people have this issue where it's like, I want to do cocaine. It's like, okay. And then if you find the one person at the club who's like, hey, you want cocaine? And then you're like, oh, that person tricked me into doing cocaine. It's like, no, you actively sought out.
Yeah, you'll run around. You just need an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good example.
No, but that's legit. It's seriously how to deal with embarrassment. We talked about that as just as a general show. That was really cool. Next, I don't want to grow up. I want to be a Toys R Us kid mentality.
People don't want to change. People want to stay who they are forever. You cannot stay who you are forever. You have to push forward. You have to be different.
Okay, next point. This is the lightning round. We're going to go a little over just so we
That's
can
fine.
dump the notes. The danger of appeasement and stagnancy.
You appease somebody. What happens is they take more than what you gave them.
Boom.
You got
gotta
anything?
stake your
Nope.
ground.
Keep going.
All right, the danger of micromanagement and not trusting people who work for you. I can't do that because my employees might steal. Then get better employees.
You're gonna be an employee forever. You're never gonna be an owner. If that's your mentality.
It's true. If you micromanage people, then you will always be the employee.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that making a living is different from making a life. Maya Angelou.
The whole goal of life is not to have $100 million in your bank account. It's nice, it's fun, but all that the dollars do is they give you the ability to do other things that you care about.
That's it. Make a life worth building, and it's not all about money.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between getting wrecked for what.
That's for a different.
That's something different. Okay,
Next.
get wrecked. It's okay to change your mind. Your personality isn't the sum total of your beliefs. I'm a Ford guy, so I can't buy anything other than a Ford.
Are you willing to change your beliefs? Like, if you change your beliefs, your personality can change too. It's not like your personality is not defined by your beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constrained to your beliefs, I guess, would be the better way.
Well, it's true. Just because all you do is work on Toyotas and like the Supra's the best car, like you can't concede and say that something's better than a Supra, which is so wrong. Anyways, is changing, growing over time, disloyal to the past people of your life? Answer was no.
No. Yeah. Boom.
Amazon sent me a toy book, right?
Yeah, they did.
We had a
Good for
show, Thoughts
Amazon.
on Compromise. Here's another quote here. Let me never fall into the vulgar mistake of dreaming that I am persecuted whenever I am contradicted. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Just because somebody doesn't agree with what they're saying doesn't mean that you're being persecuted. You'll know if you're being persecuted.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, that's the difference between that's a kind of like a cousin to you're wrong versus like I disagree with your point of view.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Next, immaturity versus maturity. We had a whole show on that. I don't need to run. Actually,
That was recent.
I'll run the list though. Selfishness versus considerate. Passive versus assertive. Living in the moment versus planning for the future. Finding a boot thing versus finding a spouse. Being controlling or possessive versus being protective. Playing games versus shouldering responsibilities. Making excuses versus making progress. Telling others who they are versus just living it. Telling others who you are versus just living. Blaming others versus taking ownership. Your integrity is only as good as your honesty. Any little things?
No, that's legit.
All right, last
get your emotions in check.
Last 3 points here. Just because someone agrees with you doesn't mean you're right.
Yep.
Just because everyone is doing it doesn't mean it's what's best.
Yeah. You can have yes men. Yes men are very dangerous things. If you surround yourself with 5 yes men, you'll crash into a wall faster than anybody can notice it.
And then they won't even help you.
Yep.
And these last 2 points, these are really cool. Just because you're following doesn't mean you're not a leader. Basically, just because you're subordinate. No, this is really good. Just because you're following somebody or you're subordinate doesn't mean that you're not a leader.
Not a leader.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
Just because you're not in management doesn't mean that one day you can be a
Yeah,
manager.
absolutely. You have to follow and learn how to be a leader before becoming a leader.
And also in the military, you learn how, like Eric just said, you learn how to be a leader by being subordinate. That's the concept. And the goal is that your leader will be such a great example to you that you will be a good leader like your leader is.
And that's really good. And last, I had a show concept I started building. We'll probably bring that into season 3. Traits of an effective leader.
Okay.
And it says communicates, dictates, and delegates
person.
well.
Yeah, be a good person.
Yeah.
Treat your employees like they're your friends, but be stern. You can be a stern friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I mean, love can be stern. It
Assertive.
does not. Yeah, assertive.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's all she wrote.
And that's all she wrote, boys. That was season 2 of the Life
Season 2.
podcast.
Yay!
Happy the Life application.
We're all gonna take a nice break, and we'll be back.
To be determined.
To be determined. Probably the new year. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
probably
be
probably sometime
Probably
in
the new year,
January.
since it's gonna be the
Holiday season.
holidays and the New Year's.
Happy holidays from the Life Studio, or the Life Podcast in the studio.
The studio, yeah.
There we go.
The whole crew says happy holidays.
The whole shebang. Tell your family, tell your friends. If you want to have awkward holiday moments, show them the Life podcast and all the vlog episodes there on the studio's page. Link in the description. And anything else, guys?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Season 2's done.
I love these recap episodes.
Yeah.
It's like a rundown of like the last 3 months of our lives.
Ta-da.
Yes, it's cool. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. If you like the show, please rate us on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us out. If you feel like supporting us in a more direct way, you can check out our Patreon page linked in the description of this video. One last thing. Please let your friends know about the podcast. If you like the show, we're sure they'll like it too. If you'd like to reach out to us, send us an email at thelifepodcastshow@gmail.com. We appreciate all of your support, and we'll see you next time. Okay, now let's have a little bit more fun with that, Benji. I don't like to have fun, Eric.